How you doing? Is that a bit creepy? Anyway, straight into the meat and potatoes. I've taken a little bit of time with this one. I've learned you can either be quick or you can be good. And I'd rather be good than quick. Don't get me wrong, some people can be quick and good. And I admire them people. There's just not many of them. And most of the people who are quick are not any good. So what we're talking about? We're talking about the release of the search warrant after it would appear that Washington judge requests that it be released. Seems that they don't believe in protecting the integrity of the case. No, I'm sure there's other reasons. Would appear that a lot of it was to do with there being surviving members. There seems to be, I'm not going to go over it because it's boring, but they talk about, obviously, the survivors and using their initials, so on and so forth. But anyway, let's get into it. So, I'll bring it up. Let's have a look. So, we're talking about specifically the things that were found and what I think of the things that were found. So, let's share this. So, what have we got here? We've obviously got the search warrant was based on probable cause. They were looking for specific things that could potentially tie their guy, the guy they believed had done this crime, to the crime. They wanted to tie him to it. That was the whole purpose of it. I'm sure you all knew that. If not, you've learned something new. I will say there was an element of this. I noted that they had said about the DNA. I'm not going to scroll through it because, again, it's pages and pages, but they specifically talk about the DNA and the fact that there could be an issue with that later on. And I would say that that's likely because of how that was obtained. There was no search warrant obtained in order to search the rubbish with which they found the DNA. And that could become problematic later on down the line. So it was specifically written into the affidavit, or the Alpha-David, that this would go ahead regardless of that element. So it could be later on down the track that the DNA situation, that could become a problem and could come back and bite him on the arse. But anyway, shut the friggin' hell up and let's have a look. So the glove, I don't know why they put nitrite. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes speaking about that, but a black glove, likely PVC style, one of these rubber gloves that stop you putting fingerprints on, on murder weapon sheaths. Obviously weren't wearing it when they handled that, were they? So we've got a black glove. Does that mean anything on its own? Not really. It doesn't mean a great deal other than this person utilized this style of glove for something. Could have been washing up even. Strict vegan, scared of life perhaps and bugs, germaphobe. That could be explained off. Walmart receipt with one Dickies tag. Now that there, for them to specifically take that, I would say that receipt contains potentially an item of dark clothing, perhaps black pants, black mask, could be. The fact that we've got this receipt here and they've taken it, I would say that within that receipt there is an item that matches up something that was perhaps worn on that night. That's my theory. 2 Marshalls receipts. Now, I'm not familiar with the Marshalls company as a whole. I could just flick over to here quickly and put in Marshalls Store US and familiarize myself with it. So, looks like shop, clothes, clothing, home decor. So, again, it could be looking at the clothing that was worn on the night. Pretty much. Could be. Dust container from Bissell Power Force Vacuum. So they've obviously got that because I would imagine they've they perhaps feel that was used for the car, and it could contain evidence within that vacuum bag from the scene. They've got 8 possible hair strands. 8 possible hair strands. So are they hair strands? I could pretty much pick something up and think, that's a hair strand. I don't think you'd pick up like a piece of string or nylon and be like, is that a hair strand? So possible hair strands. 1 Fire TV stick with cord plug. Obviously, Fire TV, there are other things that does. Some of them have web browser capabilities, things like that. There could be historic stuff contained on that. Perhaps looking at what he'd been watching or doing. Who knows? A little bit confusing. I don't really see the relevance of a Fire stick, but they might be able to get something off it that I have no idea what. We've got 1 possible animal hair strand. Again, possible animal hair strand. A lot of possibles. Possible hair strands. Possible animal hair strand. Now, obviously, if this ties in to the dog from the scene, then he's got himself a massive, massive problem, because that would take some explaining. Now, if that animal hair is not, and it's nothing, because it could be from anywhere, let's put it this way, at this stage, it could be an animal from anywhere. Well, according to that, it might not even be an animal. 1 possible hair, 1 possible hair, 1 possible hair, 1 possible hair strand. Strands, just strands of hair. They've found hair. Computer tower, that's obviously going to be an interesting one. We know that there was multiple social media accounts under the name Bryan Kohberger. Now, the thing what we don't know is when we've looked sort of post-event, we don't know how many of these were created in his name afterwards by the freaks and weirdos, and how many he had been utilising historically for the purpose of perhaps following these victims. But they've taken it, and there's going to be a chance of finding some interesting stuff that could support some of the things that we've heard recently about, obviously, the inbox messages via Instagram, etc., etc. We've got 1 collection of dark red spots collected without testing. Doesn't say where that was found or what that was found on. It just says a collection of it. 2 cuttings from uncased pillow of reddish brown stain, larger stain tested. Obviously, was there a pillowcase on that originally? Has it seeped through the pillowcase? Did Bryan, if he did this, go home from doing all this, not wash or wash badly and get into bed and get blood on his pillow? Possibly. Bit strange to do all this and get all this on you and not clean up thoroughly before getting into bed, because we've also got 2 top and bottom mattress covers packaged separately, both labelled C, multiple stains. Ugh! 1 tested. There we go. So, in my opinion, there's a whole lot of possibles. Possibly got hair, possibly got animal hair. We've possibly got a situation where he's not very good at keeping himself clean, or as good at keeping himself clean as he seems to be in doing this crime. And, yeah, at this stage, I would have still no weapon. There's nothing that leaps out and goes, this is all over, he's done. The biggest thing here for me would be the possible animal hair strand. Does that indeed belong to the pet from the victims? Because that would, like I say, take some explaining. The rest could be pretty much circumstantial. I think there was some confusion over the shoes situation. I think someone had even noted that they'd found the shoe, and that wasn't in fact the case. Weren't that at all. But there we go. That's pretty much, I can't stretch it out any longer. I apologise. That's as good as it gets. I wish I could do a live and make it long, but I'm done. That's it. I hope that was enough. Even this bit I've tried to drag out. I'll catch you all on the next one.